Hey there, I want to tell you about some animals I just met, starting with a 6-foot-tall bat. Well, really, a person in a bat costume. I saw them waiting across the street, and when traffic cleared, they flapped their wings and scuttled like an actual bat would. Not for anyone's benefit, because there was no one else there to see, just for their own personal headspace. 2 weeks ago, I went to Rainfurrest, a convention in Seattle for furries, that is, people who identify as anthropomorphic animals. I was there to write about them for The Stranger, Seattle's alt weekly, and also just to explore. These are some of the photos I took while I was there, and also the story of one particular person I met. Furry conventions are often just hanging out at a hotel and chatting, and in that sense, it's like if you and a whole bunch of your friends all decided to take a group vacation together. Except that you and your friends are all in full body costumes, or you have tails clipped to your belt loops, or you're wearing a collar with a giant jingling cat bell. After following the bat into the convention center, I nearly crashed into the parade, in which 500 people in costumes march along the street, waving and smiling to incredibly confused passers-by. Mostly, I just wandered and took it all in, but I also spent some time talking to a guy who calls himself Metal Fox. As a child, he spent one Christmas in the hospital. He was dying of leukemia, and it was there that he met a reindeer. Not a real reindeer, a guy in a furry costume. He was a volunteer who went from kid to kid in the cancer ward trying to cheer them up, even though cheer was hard to come by in a place where some kids, like Metal Fox, were expected to have just a few weeks left. The reindeer stopped by Metal Fox's room, and they smiled for a photo together. When he looked at the picture, Metal Fox realized it was taken at just the right angle, that he could see a smiling person behind the mesh of the eye. He stared at the accidentally revealed face of a stranger who'd come to make him feel better. A guy who just wanted to bring what little gift he could at Christmas, smiling behind an animal mask, even in a place where it seemed like hope had just about run out. And here's the thing, there's always hope, because Metal Fox defied the doctor's expectations and started getting better. Eventually, he was ready to leave the cancer ward behind, but he never forgot that special Christmas visitor. Years passed, and there came a day when Metal Fox realized that he wanted more from the new lease on life he'd been granted. He had a house, a great job, fine things, but what else was there? And the answer came from someone unexpected. A fox. For years, he'd had a vision in his mind of a fox who helped people, who asked them what their dreams were and what caused them pain and helped them reach their goals, and he realized maybe that fox was him. Why a fox? Foxes are clever and bold, like how dogs are loyal and bears are fierce and raccoons like mischief. That's not really true, of course, but humans use animals to stand in for their own feelings all the time, and it's what a lot of furries do. The bunnies frolic, the wolves run in packs. They're expressing something of themselves with the language that makes sense. Animals. And so, Metal Fox imagined himself as a crafty fox with a knack for helping strangers, just as strangers had once looked after him. He asked a friend to draw him as a towering foxy figure, and in his mind he was held aloft on wings that allowed him to swoop to the rescue of those in need. And in real life, he began to do the same. It started small, raising money for charities, offering a helping hand when friends needed advice. That was all fine, but then a furry friend confided that she was thinking about ending her life. And that was more than he'd ever handled. He didn't know if he was up to the task. What could he do? After fighting to preserve his own life, he just didn't understand what to say to someone consumed with ending hers. So he gave her the only thing he could think of, the gift that the reindeer had brought him in the hospital. Hope. A reason to go on each day. He took her out of the house, introduced her to new friends, made plans to go to parties. He showed her a world to look forward to, a world he nearly never lived to explore. He kept smiling. I asked him if that pressure to help his friend ever overwhelmed him, and he told me I wasn't able to take on that responsibility, but Metal Fox was. He's nonchalant about having possibly saved his friend's life. She's recovering now and provides support for other furries facing similar problems. That smile behind the reindeer's mask has lived on through Metal Fox, rippling out through him to his friends and her friends and beyond. When I left Rainfurrest at the end of that weekend, I felt like I was stepping out of a dream. I'd met people who for just a few days could be their perfect imagined selves, whether that meant they were stronger or braver or kinder, or just free to be happy. A lot of things seem impossible. Beating cancer, overcoming depression, changing who or what you are, but it turns out there's always hope, even if it comes from someplace you never expected. It's hidden in plain sight, or it's cleverly disguised as a man in wolf's clothing, or as a cat, or as a 6-foot bat flapping his way across the street. Thanks for watching. You can read the complete story I wrote about my time at Rainfurrest in The Stranger in print or online. Subscribe here for more videos and let me know your thoughts. I'm at Matt Baume on Twitter.